Welcome back to this commentated roleplay for Morrowind Rebirth. So in the previous episode we had just reached the lantern, or red lantern I should say, inn, and Assemmus is going to step inside and just speak to the patrons of the inn to see if they have any useful information. He is new to these lands and can use all the advice he can get. So let us proceed. This little quaint place. Well attended. Zababa. Good day. What do you want, Outlander? Forgive the intrusion. I have heard of these, I've heard of the term, I should say, Ultima. Do you have any information about these so-called Ultima? Ultima are the tall, light-skinned elves of the West. They were once like us, but they became soft and foolish. They abandoned their ancestors and put their faith in big buildings and sorcery. The great fathers of our great fathers were kin of the Ultima. But the prophet Veloth led us out of the West and brought us here so our rites and customs could remain pure. So, it seems like there was some form of diversion in the past. It seems as though this was precipitated, or at least in part precipitated, by the prophet Veloth. That's very interesting, thank you. But what of your background, Zababa? I am Zababa, hunter and brother of the Ashlanders. I would be most interested in hearing more of the Ashlanders. I have some ancestral connection to these peoples, you see. What of Dagoth? His name already sends a shiver down my spine. Dagoth is the devil and the enemy. Dagoth and his beasts and servants are the source of many evils that beset the Dunmer and Morrowind. Dagoth dwells in fiery caverns beneath Red Mountain. Yes, it seems more and more unlikely that I should be visiting this Red Mountain anytime soon. Seems like a quite most inhospitable place. He is served by his kin called Ash Vampires. We shall be avoiding them, it seems, Zababa. And by legions of deformed monsters, and those too. But what of the Dunmer? What do you think of them, Zababa? We are the Dunmer, the dark-skinned, red-eyed elven people who followed the prophet Veloth out of the southwest generation upon generation ago. Settling here in Morrowind, we are the true Dunmer. We have remained true to the sacred rites and customs of our forefathers. The house people, also called the settled people, called dark elves, quote-unquote, by the Outlanders. We are also of ancient lineage of the prophet Veloth. I see. Interesting. I see there are lots of guards in Seydanin, or at least a few. Are they causing any trouble here, Zababa? They keep the peace and chase down criminals. I see. I have heard, however, that there are a number of smugglers about. I wonder if they are turning a blind eye to these smugglers. But what of the Imperials themselves? They do not seem particularly popular, and that seems most understandable. The Imperials came out of the west and tricked the gods of the settled people. The false gods called the Tribunal. I see. Yes, I would be interested in hearing more about this tribunal. Now the Imperials act like their own Morrowind, and they claim we are ruled by their chief, the one they call Emperor. We think nothing of this foolishness, but they have great armies of soldiers in armor who come and burn our yurts and slay our children. That sounds horrible, Sababa. I hope you and your family were never affected by such brutality. So we hate them, but we must remember to be quiet and patient and cunning, as Bothea has taught us. Thank you. And what of the latest stories in Seydanin, or outside of Seydanin? Is there anything I may learn, Zababa? They call them, quote-unquote, corpus beasts. Yes, I've heard of this corpus disease. They come from Red Mountain. So is that perhaps the origin of said disease, Zababa? Once they were men, then blight storms come. They walk in the storms, they get sick, grow fat and stupid. Now they wander like mad beasts, killing and eating. Very bad, very bad. So it seems as though we must firstly avoid these blight storms, but also just as likely avoid those that have been infected. I shall be most wary. Thank you, Zababa. That was very useful advice, but pray, would you have any more that could be of use to me? Carry good, nourishing food. When you stumble wearily into trouble, eat and refresh yourself, so you fight well. Yes, I am already attempting to forage for that very purpose. It seems as though you have quite a nice selection of different plants and fungi here. That's a bubba. Would there be any particular more secretive nuggets of information I could learn from you? Kush Tashbi, that is the name of the old Daedric stones west of Ahmuz camp. No one goes there. It is a deep and dark place. Not even you, Zababa? You look as if you could handle yourself in a fight. If you are not going there, I shall certainly not. Well, not without protection. And what of Morrowind itself? It seems as though things have changed greatly since the Imperials have colonized, I believe it would be right in saying, this area. Morrowind is the ancient homeland of the Dunmer people. Once, long ago, this was our land. But now the creatures from the west have come, and the House Dunmer have meekly submitted to their rule. Now, in all the lands of the Morrowind, only the Ashlanders still lead the free, reverent lives of honor of the ancient Dunmer. So it seems like the Ashlanders are the only peoples that are resisting the colonization from the Imperials. I should be most interested to meet some of these Ashlanders in time. And do you have any specific information regarding your trade, Sir Bathe? One day it may be useful for me to try and make some money here. Perhaps sooner rather than later. I am a hunter. I range across the ashlands and wastes, hunting for meat and hides. I know the native creatures of Ardenfall, and now, or know, I should say, to avoid the diseased creatures and the blighted creatures, for they are foul and worthless, and deadly to the careless hunter. I am sure there are many careless hunters and adventurers about. My late father always cautioned me to be careful when in the wild. You never know what you may encounter. I know the Ashlands and the Grazelands, Azura's coast and Molag Amur, and can tell you of these places. Yes, I would be most appreciative to know more about those locations. You have spoken of the Altmer and the Dunmer, but what of orcs? I have encountered some orcs back in my previous life in Cyrodiil. They seemed most gruff. The orcs are savage half-men that the Westerners call, quote-unquote, human. They should go back to their mountains in the west and leave us alone. The Emperor uses them as his soldiers, and they are indeed fierce warriors, cunning with leather and steel. Yes, I have learnt or have heard of their fearsome reputation in battle. And what of this dangerous location, Red Mountain? Not that I particularly need any more reason to avoid this place, but do you know anything more about it, Sir Bathe? Red Mountain is the great mountain of fire in the centre of Ardenfall. The outer slopes are steep and rugged, I see, and dotted with surface lava. Beasts and servants of the devil Dagoth live on Red Mountain. The settled people built a magical barrier called Ghost Fence. Interesting. To keep the evils inside. Within the Ghost Fence, rain never falls and the sun never shines. The only weather is red, the red, I should say, and deadly ash blight. Let's stop. So, I wonder how much magical energy is required to keep this so-called ghost fence in place. I imagine it is not trivial, Sir Bathe. And what of services here in Seyda-Neen or elsewhere that could be of use? I see. Yes. I wonder if there's anything useful to purchase here or to get here in the Red Lantern. Thank you. And what of specific persons that I should endeavour to meet? I see. Yes, I have heard of these individuals. And finally, if I may, what of specific places to visit? I see. I see. Thank you. I have heard of this before, but I appreciate your time, Zababa. Just before I leave you, may I inquire a little bit more about a couple of other subjects? I have heard a little bit of this Dagoth but I would be interested in hearing a little bit more from your perspective. I see. Yes, I believe I've heard him described as such, a real menace to these lands. I doubt there is anyone who could defeat him, though. You speak of this Assemmus camp. May I learn a little bit more about this place, Zababa? The Assemmus camp is on the northeast, the farthest tip of Vardenfall Island, north from Tel Mora, near the old Daedric ruins of Old Daedroth. Interesting. Perhaps it may be useful to visit this place in time, of course. You spoke of earlier the Red Mountain and the need to protect Vardenfall from the evils of Dagoth using a particular magical force called the Ghost Fence. Is there any more information I could learn about this magical barrier? The Ghost Fence is a magic wall around Red Mountain. The settled people created this barrier to keep the devil Dagoth and his beasts and servants trapped in Red Mountain. I see. So this really is the only means of defense presently against Dagoth. Thank you. I have taken enough of your time, Zababa, but it has been most pleasant speaking with you. Good day. Good day, Hashir. May I speak with you a moment? I hope I'm not interrupting you serving your patrons, though. Thank you. Welcome to the Red Lantern, the best place to quench your thirst and get a little snack before you venture out into the wilderness. Well, I may peruse your wares briefly. I tend to prefer to forage, though, you see. Seems as though you have a good selection of plants and fungi here on the island. But I may have a look at your wares briefly in a moment. I offer a wide selection of food and drinks, all for a low price. Thank you. Would you be willing to let me know of any particular rumors here in Seydanin, Hashir? An adventurer who passed through here recently swore he saw a leak or a leech in the tomb just north of here. I guess that's what you get for robbing tombs. Yes. I believe that is his just rewards. Although we can never entirely assume the reasons why these people do these things, Heshir. Would you have any advice for this newcomer? Don't expect the natives to take to you right away. Colonists like us, outlanders, settlers from other provinces, will be more open and friendly at the start. Then, maybe when you do a few things, get your name around, gain a reputation, then the locals will open up a little. Stick to your own kind to start, and it will go a little easier. Well, I certainly don't believe that I am a colonist, Hashir. But thank you for the advice. Would you have any particular other nuggets of information of a more secretive nature? Ah, yes. Seems as though there are many of these demons about. Thank you for the information, though. And what of your trade, Hashir? Do you do anything else apart from your position here? I am a tavern keeper. I have food and drinks to buy. I also know the neighborhood and can share the local lore. Or, if you prefer, I can give you a little Morrowind lore. I am also likely to have heard the latest rumors, and am happy to share them with you in the spirit of fellowship. Thank you, Hashir. I would be most interested in learning a little bit of lore about these lands. Foul murder is punished by compensation, hard labor, or sometimes by writ of assassination. Yes, I've heard of a particular organization that carry out said assassinations. But thank you for that little bit of information. And what are services here in Seydanin or elsewhere, Hashir? Ah, yes, thank you. And what of someone in particular to meet? Ah, indeed, thank you. And finally, would there be any specific places that I should visit, Hashir? I see. Yes, I shall be travelling by foot quite soon to Balmora. But for now, goodbye. Ah, good day, sir.
What? Why do you disturb me?
Oh, well, forgive the intrusion. I simply want a moment of your time, if I may. Arinar Orus. All right. I've never seen you before. What do you want? Oh, no need to be quite so prickly, Arinar. May I learn a little bit about the Imperials here? It seems as though they are, or have quite a strong presence. If I liked you better, then I might tell you. Oh, there is no need to be rude. May I learn a little bit about any rumors here? These Imperial tax collectors have really started to get on everyone's nerves. Yes, I've heard that a certain Processus has gone missing. I believe he was one of these tax collectors, if I'm not mistaken. Haven't seen the local one in a while, though not that anyone is complaining. Indeed. Would you have any advice for me, Arinar? When you take a job, you have to have the good sense to hold off until you're stronger if it seems too hard for you. I see. That is good advice. Thank you, Arinar. I don't suppose you would know of any secrets? I see, yes. Perhaps I was pushing my luck a little bit there. I would be interested in learning a little bit more about these lands. The innkeeper, Hashir, has been already most useful in providing a little bit of lore. Would you be willing to impart some of your knowledge, Arana? Oh, that is not particularly kind. Excuse me.
So little
Oh,
manners.
please, by all
so
means,
little
ask me lots of
time.
questions.
Raxada, may I just take a moment of your time? Thank you. What? You're in Sadanin? You're new here, so what do you want from me? Well, I am simply trying to get accustomed to this new place, Raxada. I mean no harm. May I learn a little bit about you? I see. Would you be willing to tell me any rumors? Yes, Aranar, just over there, said something similar. Would you be willing to provide me a little advice? I've never seen a successful adventurer who didn't carry a couple of divine intervention scrolls with him on long expeditions. 2 reasons. Emergency exit, and it lets you move a lot more loot than you can carry on foot. And faster goes without saying. I see. That is useful, thank you. I shall look into attaining a couple of these divine intervention scrolls. Could I pry a little further and gain a little bit more information, Raxada? No, I see. Surely a little bit of lore regarding these lands is not too much to ask. I see. It is now around midday to 1 o'clock, so I believe it may be prudent for Assemmus to just have his, or have a modest morsel for lunch. He shall have his violet coprinus, or the remaining violet coprinus in his inventory. Very good. Now, having conducted our appraisal of the locals of Sadanin, perhaps Assemmus shall now be turning his attention to what he will do next. I believe what he may be doing is having a little search for this particular book or tome that has been mentioned a couple of times. The laws and customs. I imagine he would be quite keen to learn about it, being a newcomer. And it would synergize well with his character, which is very curious. However, he would not be wanting to tarry too long in Sadanin. He would be looking to travel to Balmora in the near future. So perhaps that would follow this task for this particular book or tome. And we shall action that in the next episode. But for now, I'd like to say thank you for joining me, and I shall see you in the next installment. Goodbye now.